Hey, lovely.
Hi. Do you like my t-shirt?
I absolutely love it. What does it say?
My idea of romance is walks to the fridge.
I love that. That's fantastic. Absolutely.
So I
You're
think
back
we
again.
we are back again and we're on a roll with these episodes, I think.
I know, loving it. I really enjoy them.
So yeah, today is all about the mistakes that we made during our journeys. So I'm sure there were some mistakes, if not plenty.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's just the mistakes that we made so that you guys kind of can avoid during your journey.
Um, Definitely right way back at the beginning, and probably how I started my fitness journey was by making a mistake. I was doing way too much, eating too little, causing knock-on like binge effects. Yeah, speaking negative to myself, kind of on that vicious cycle really of, Monday, Tuesday, really good. Wednesday, I'd have like, a burnout, or it could be Thursday. And then Friday come, everyone would say, "Oh, do you want to go out?" And then so really out of the 7 days, I was doing about 2 days, but it was really harsh. So that was definitely one of my big mistakes that I made. And then probably another one was eating too much of the good things. So before I was educated, there was loads of things going around of, like healthy fats and all that. And I went OTT with them. I was like Holland and Barrett's best customer. I was buying absolutely everything, spending a fortune. And you don't need to do that. You just need that balance. And a little bit of a variety of everything goes a long way. You don't need to do things in, extreme amounts, because I was eating good stuff. And I actually, throughout that time, did put on quite a bit of weight, unknowingly. And I had quite bad digestion because of the thing. I was eating a lot of, potions and lotions and, different things. And it really just wasn't good for my digestion. Another thing that I definitely, I mean, everyone's probably tried it, but herbal teas and things like that, like, yeah, terrible for you. So they're just a few off the top of my head. I've got thousands more mistakes. What
Yeah.
about you, Kimberly? What are your mistakes?
So I think my mistakes like way before my journey even started, where I was properly educated, is I was constantly looking for the quick fix. And now I know that the quick fix is just it's non-existent. You can lose weight by like fasting and all of that and like keto diet and stuff, but it's not sustainable. So the things that were out when I was such a yo-yo dieter, or my weight was consistently up and down, up and down, up and down. But I would try things like the Special K diet. So you have the Special K in the morning, Special K at lunch, and then you would have dinner, or the Volvic 12-day challenge where you would just drink water for the day, or and then have like one main meal or something ridiculous like that. So I was obviously like starving my body. Um, and it was also things like I never exercised. Like I always thought exercise was an absolute bloody chore. I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. Um, but slowly as was educated that like movement is everything, and now like I've got a healthy like relationship with like exercise and food. But yeah, I would say my mistakes that I made was always just trying to look for the quick fix. And I would be like, oh my God, I've lost all this weight. That's amazing. And I would get all these compliments like, yeah, you've lost weight, but it's not sustainable, which then I put it all back on. And then I would try again with another diet. And that's another thing is trying too many diets at one time as well. and jumping from one thing to another because I'm like, right, that doesn't work, that goes in the bin. Let's try this. Doesn't work, that goes in the bin. Like, all of that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think those are my mistakes really, is just from jumping from one diet to another. I don't particularly like the word diet because it it has this, like, for me it has this aura around it of short term,
Yeah,
whereas
restriction. And
yeah,
then you just
restriction.
wanna, you're just waiting for that day or that week or that holiday or that event. Yeah. And it's all social media driven because the social media, they want you to buy into their quick fix, herbal tea, special K, whatever it may look like. But, that is just, it's short term. And it's just every single time you do it, you just add in another brick to your negative, oh, I'm not worthy, I can't do this. You just add in that brick wall higher and higher that reinforces your negative beliefs. And it's toxic, it really is. And I think until you actually say, I want to be happy from within,
Mm,
and then shine on the outside and think, right, okay, this is long term. I want to get to grips. I want to get to the bottom of it. And, one of my biggest things, which was so uncomfortable for me, one of my biggest achievements was looking back on it, putting on weight purposely.
mm,
So obviously I had to really build up a good muscle base, and with that you have to add on fat, especially as females. And I got uncomfortably big. I had to buy uncomfortably big for me, especially being at that point an athlete, and it was very uncomfortable. And the best thing I ever did towards my relationship with food, um, just allowing yourself to eat, intuitively. And then when I did start strip back, I'd got my calories in a really good place. My metabolism was so much better, my trust with food. And, because I was never restricting anything, I knew I could have whatever I wanted, within reason.
mm.
And then when I did decide I want to do a quarter strip and sit a little bit leaner, it fell into place. And yeah, but at the time, that growth stage, I was quite negative to myself, and it was really uncomfortable. But looking back on it now, I wouldn't be where I am without that purpose. So,
Yeah.
people with eating disorders, disordered eating, things like that, you do really have to push yourself outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, so true. And that's really tough mentally as well, because yeah, with disordered eating and eating disorders, it's like you say, getting out of that comfort zone and trying challenging foods. So I've got a friend that suffers with something similar, and she would, bless her, like she would just try her challenging foods all at once. And then I said to, and then, then she would kind of go back into like a bit of a slip, bit of a dip. And I said, well, why don't you just challenge yourself on just little and often with challenging foods? And that worked for her. So yeah, that sort of thing, it's really tough mentally, and like you said, it really does come from within, and it's pulling yourself out of that and just telling us, just asking yourself, like, where is this going to get me in life, and do I want to be happier? Because if that
Yeah.
is the question to yes, then that should hopefully pull you out
Yeah.
of that
And having
mentally.
support, having a coach is the biggest, it's the biggest factor in that. If you want to do well in anything, if you want to do well in golf, or you want to do, if you want to be better, you go to an expert. And I think that having a coach that's got knowledge, that's able to support you through that, then why not? Whether it be for a week or whether it be for, I've had one lady with me and she's probably coming up about 7 years now. She was one
Mm,
of my very first, when you're starting out, I need a guinea pig, and she's
yeah,
still with me, and she's soaked up absolutely all the knowledge. And, you know, it's having that person there to support you, not only physically, but mentally as well. So yeah, I think that it's really good.
That's amazing. That's a really nice story to have, isn't it? To be able to tell that she's been, stuck with you. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
exactly. Because the journey
amazing.
changes, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
your goal when you first get a coach to the goal when you know, further down the line, you've moved house, you might have had a baby, you should trying for the next baby, you know, all those things. And your goalposts are forever moving. So you need to educate, reflect, you know, get a narrative on where you want to be for the next bit. Because let's face it, in life, we get to one achievement and we want more. We buy a house, and 5 years down the line, you want a bigger, better house. That's the way it is.
100%. I just thought of another mistake that I kept making as well, and this was like towards the end of my journey where I'd kind of got to a weight that I was happy with. And I got quite complacent with not tracking on the weekends. And that's when it started to come back on. And I only put on like half a stone over a year, which is actually really good, considering what I used to do before. But that was one of the mistakes I did. I used to kind of think that, weekends are like just going all out. And no, I've been good Monday to Friday, like, weekends go all out. I'm not going to track because that's fine. This is fine. And what we do is we underestimate massively what you're eating and what's that doing to your body and how many macros that might be in that certain food or energy intake or whatever. But yeah, that was one of my other mistakes as well, was just kind of having a blowout of the weekend, which I would start again on Monday. That phrase of like, oh yeah, I'll start again on Monday, start again on Monday. No, start again today and do what you can right now. Because otherwise you're always going to wait for that Monday is never ever going to come around. I've experienced
Yeah,
that many a time.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Top tips then.
So my top tips, don't label food good or bad. We really, you know, we really want to come away from that. Balance, allowance. Rest days are just as important. Absolutely. Like I say, one of my biggest mistakes was hitting it too hard, not having a rest day. You know, I'm still really bad with this. And it's something that I really, you know, I'm so good with telling my team, like, you know, rest, but I seem to think that I can just go and sure, you know, before I know it, I've hit burnout, and I really have to make sure that I am factoring in those rest days. For me, doesn't have to be every week. My fitness levels are high. I can take a lot of workload. That's me. I'm different.
Mm,
Compared to whoever's listening to this. Some people need a rest day twice a week, 3 times a week. You cannot compare yourself. And I don't think that you have to look at it as a weekly thing. Some weeks you might need 3 rest days because you're really busy, you're traveling, you're doing this, you're doing that. Every week needs to look different. For
mm,
mine, I normally do it on a month, and I have maybe more rest days towards my cycle. But I just address it when I'm there.
mm.
So definitely rest days, include them, but know when to push and when to pull back, and avoiding under eating when you're super busy, because you then get to a point where you're super hungry, and then you go OTT because of those dopamine effects and things like that. So just keeping balance and keeping blood sugar nice and level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
my
love that. I love that. Yeah, it's like today I was meant to go to the gym and I actually took a rest day because I thought I really need it.
yeah,
It's
good
just
for
listening to your
you.
body, isn't it? And I actually did some
Yeah.
cleaning around the house and I thought actually I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, and then you'll work harder next gym session and you've got a tidy house. So
I
well done
love
you.
it. Win-win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my top tips are like number one is patience. So I
Yeah.
come across this a lot, even with myself, and I am terrible. I'm such an impatient person. But when it came to my journey, for example, my patience was really tested. Um, and even with a few clients at the moment, like patience and trusting the process. The better patience you have, the better your journey is going to be. So that's what I'm going to say on patience, because I think that's summed it up. And also stop putting pressure on yourself. So if you keep putting pressure on yourself, you're putting yourself into like stress mode, because oh, why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? Pressure, pressure, pressure. Then stress, 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 and then stress effectively has an impact on weight loss, or whatever journey you're on. Like stress is just no good. So just stop putting pressure on yourself and just going into the next top tip is taking one thing at a time. So if you, whatever journey you might be, it might be weight loss, it might be weight gain, or it might just be maintaining or whatever, but it's actually looking underneath those layers of, okay, we might actually need to tackle your stress levels first before we look into your weight loss journey. So it's just tackling one thing at a time, and then that kind of loops back around to patience. Right, those are my top tips.
Yeah, love that last one, definitely. One thing at a time and
Yeah.
get it done right. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. And I'm sure it'll be coming thick and fast. We're on a roll with these.
Yes, we have. So thanks for listening, guys, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, see you later.